over the last year, more recently, the last sort of 6-8 months, AI has just exploded. A lot of people using it, talking about it, its implications, what the future looks like with AI. And how about this for one of the possibilities of what AI, artificial intelligence, is going to help us do? Understand what animals are saying. Like Dr. Dolittle. That's the first place my brain goes when we talk about animals and being able to understand, maybe not necessarily talk back to them, but understand. There are people that are already actively doing this, using AI to learn and analyze what chickens are saying. You know, you got a bunch of chickens out in the chicken coop. They're clucking, clucking, clucking. What does all of that mean? Is that like actual communication? Is that just something that they do? What are they trying to communicate to each other? It's very interesting. AI is going to figure this out for us. And here now to comment is Dr. Suresh Neethirajan. Thanks so much for being here, Dr. Neethirajan. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Thanks, Scott. How are you?
I'm really good. So explain this to me. Is AI going to help us talk to chickens?
At the moment, yes, partially. We are looking at interpreting what exactly is going on in terms of the communication. Are they trying to express the variety of emotions and the feeling component of the chickens? How do they communicate among themselves? How do they express content, satisfaction, frustration, not so happy moods through different vocalizations?
Okay, and what have you learned so far? Are they expressing those type of things? Have you been able to, quote unquote, translate anything yet that they're saying?
Yes, partially. We are still making progress. So what we did was we conducted a series of experiments. We stressed the birds with sudden umbrella opening, which is a visual stressor. We also played loud dog and other kind of wild animals noises, stressed them out, and used a variety of sensing technologies, thermal cameras, four-dimensional cameras, and sound acquisition to collect a variety of data. And then used deep learning and what we call as natural language processing techniques and semantics-based approaches to decode what is it that they are trying to communicate, how the stress causes different kinds of indicators that we could rely upon in terms of unraveling a variety of emotions or the cognition behind these birds. For example, just a 0.5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature in the poultry husbandry, they express their discontent, unsatisfactory feeling through a variety of different vocalization mode. So we look at what we call as MFCCs, mel frequency substral coefficient, basically frequency, amplitude, pitch, tone, and the gap between these vocal calls, and try to deduce, okay, what's going on. We were also able to find out, because we did an experiment from day one, as soon as the egg hatch and the chicks come out, up to 16 weeks. During this longitudinal data collection and analysis using machine learning and deep learning, we were able to actually appreciate how the age of the birds play a role. For example, as a teenager, as an adolescent, how human beings have a change in the voice during the puberty, season. Similarly, these chickens also have a specific weeks. At that time point, their vocalization changes. Most of the time in an industry setting, the chickens does not see their own mother. They come out of the egg. So there is no possibility for social imprinting to happen. So they kind of look at each other, peck, only through the voice, the sounds, they try to communicate. There is also a possibility, for example, if there are 10,000 birds in a poultry floor, a group of birds try to play a leadership role, try to influence the rest of the birds. So this influencing the social dynamics, the social network analysis can be easily done through the vocalization. They communicate, they exchange. So the combination of sound data, thermal imaging data, and video camera data help us to understand their way they try to express their different feelings. We also try to look at as a possibility to develop a translator that would help us to improve the welfare of the quality and the richness of the life of these birds when they go through their animal husbandry period.
This is so interesting. Now, what is the goal here as it relates to these animals, to chickens? Is it to increase their production? Is it to try to improve animal welfare? What is the goal with understanding them?
So it is multifaceted, heterogeneous applications. For example, how do we provide an enriched quality of life for these birds? Sometimes, if there is a bit of discomfort, change in the hygiene conditions, or even if there is a little bit of delay in the availability of feed and water, there is a possibility to develop aggression behavior. They try to peck on each other. So we have the ability to understand the communications and avoid these aggression and other not so favorable characteristics and qualities of the birds. So that provide a much more enhanced quality of life. At the same time, it concerns about improving the profitability for the farmers. The happy chicken is a productive chicken, and the meat quality and the eggs are also much more nutritious and richer. So we have very clear scientific evidence in terms of when we keep the farm animals much more healthier and happier, the production is directly proportional as well. There is also other welfare aspects. For example, we can improve the bonding between the farmers and these farm animals, because chickens do display empathy. For example, if there is a hen and a chick, they make specific call to communicate. Similarly, we call this as HCAI, human computer animal interactions. So in this particular zone, in this particular interface, we use artificial intelligence to create a much more bonding and a quality of richness in terms of interaction between the farmers as well as the farm animals.
So now, if this works, and it sounds like it is working, what are the potentials for other applications? Like if this is something that we use in farming, what about with dairy cows? Or what about with other type of service animals, like potentially seeing eye dogs? Is there potential there to apply this to other animals and other species as we develop this technology?
Absolutely. The tremendous potential. We have already started collecting data for the dairy cows also. For example, the cow and the calf contact. Cows are a little more passive. They try to express passive aggression by vigorous licking, by making specific moo calls in a different pitch and different amplitude when they are not quite comfortable. When they are about to call, they try to make specific sounds. So we have the ability to understand the subtle, smaller little nuances, changes that help us to provide a much more comfortable environment to the cows. So there is a bit of research already happening from our group. The same can also be applied for companion animals such as cats and dogs. Just the purr of the cat, or by looking at small little whining of the dogs, depending on the breed, we can have a better understanding. We could say, hey, don't sit on my couch. The couch is only for humans. You sit here. Those kind of communication can be made to provide a better exchange of quality of richness between the humans and companion animals.
Absolutely fantastic, fascinating research that you're doing, and very cool potential future implications for it. It's Dr. Suresh Neethirajan. He's a university research chair in digital livestock farming at Dalhousie University. Thank you so much for explaining this to us, and I definitely look forward to talking again as this develops, because what we're literally talking about here is like being able to communicate with animals, like domestic and I see the implications in farming, of course. This is a huge, profitable, important industry. But wow, what a very cool thing that we can do with AI. See, the future is bright. Thank you so much, Dr. Neethirajan. I really do appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Scott. You have a wonderful day. Bye.
Redemption is on lockdown. They got Bodie.